Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Watch Me Work Wednesday. I'm Linda from Inspired Art Journaling. Thank you for joining in. We've got a couple of people here, so I'll just sort of get started, and people can join in as they come along. So I feel like it's been a long time, so welcome and say hello and let me know if you can hear me okay, or that kind of thing. It's been a while since I feel like it's been a while since I've been on. I know I've been away and life's just been pretty busy at the moment, so I thought I would definitely come in tonight and just have a bit of play. And yeah, so I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and but then I received my order. I ordered the new Stead stamps, and so I thought, oh, I'll have a bit of a play with that. So Claire's got two new stamp sets out. They're just girls, and I thought tonight I'll do a couple of paper dolls using a couple of these stamps. I'm going to be using this one, but yeah, so that is where I'm heading with that today. So we've got a few people in, so hello everyone, and welcome to tonight. Kind of got a plan in my head, but you know, that could go either way. But excuse me, like I said, I'm going to be playing mostly with these the stamps here, but this is an abandoned background that I had done, I don't know when, but a long time ago. Sort of got that far and never went any further with it, so I thought, no, I'll make the paper dolls up nice and bright, and then I can put one on each side or something like that. So that's saves me doing a background. I'm going to sort of be working with that. I mean, the girls will probably be a little bit independent of that. Oh, hello Martine, hello Michelle, thank you girls. Welcome Martine, I think this might be your first time on here. But yeah, so I'm just going to go through and have a bit of a play with a couple of the girls from the new Stead stamps. So like I was saying, this is an abandoned background that I'm just going to work on a bit later on. I might do a little bit of stamping or something over it. So for the time being, I'll just put this aside somewhere. I can find a spot. And so here are the stamps. They're real nice, good quality, very sturdy, you know, PVC or whatever, polymer or whatever they call it. And yeah, so I'm just going to be doing a bit of a hodgepodge tonight. I've got a piece of card here. I'm just going to actually cut that in half. I have put some gesso on it because I like to gesso. I'm just going to rip that in half, because I'm going to be making the bodies for the girls, so I should get the two bodies out of this one piece. I may end up doing the two different ones and have different girl for each one, but we'll see how we progress through. Now I have pre-stamped a couple of the stamps of the girls, so I'll be working on those tonight as well, and so I'll use one of these and one of those. I always do a lot up as when I start doing it, but we'll move on to that in a moment. The first thing what I'll do is going to do my backgrounds. So I'm just going to be doing a very abstract, nice and bright. I pulled out the colours for tonight. I pulled out the new Dina Wakely colours, the pastel-y ones. Whether I'll keep using those throughout the night, I've also pulled out, oh, I didn't get the raspberry. I can't help myself. Where is it? Oops. Sorry guys, I'll just grab the raspberry out. I just love these three that came out a while ago, the malachite, raspberry and the iris. I think they will go nicely with these two, so we'll just see how we go. I might put do one set pastel, one page with the brighter colours. So we'll just see how we go. So I don't have a lot of real estate to play with, so I won't be putting much paint out, hopefully. So I'm just going to go straight on, 3 little spots. Do you know what, I think I might do my favourite technique. Just grab my wet wipes. Grab a few wet wipes because I'm going to go straight in with my fingers. This is my most favourite way to play with paints. It's great if there's people like who like to do that. You have the stamps but haven't had the chance to play with them. Yeah, look, I must admit I just got mine the other day and I thought, right, this is what I'm going to do tonight, is just have a little bit of a play and get straight into it. So let's have a look. I might go with this one here. Just have to be careful that I don't go too close to the colours. I might dry off in between a little bit. Just making sure I'm in camera. Hello, hello, hello. If I've missed you, hello and welcome. So I'm just rubbing, going into the others colours. Now I'm going to be putting lots of layers on this. So I mean, I know that it's not a real you know, you can see the lines through it and all that sort of thing, but because I'm going to be doing lots of collage over the top, I'm not too worried about that. Collage, stamping, stenciling, whatever floats my boat. And so I'll stick to the pastel colours here if I can, and probably should put that up there a bit, and I might just dry off a little. I personally love doing this. Quite often I'll do it with warm colours or cool colours, so that, you know, colours that all blend in together nicely, because otherwise you get brown if you get too close. So I do have to be very, very careful here. And so what I will do is just do a very quick dry off, and so I can start layering up. So I hope everyone is well. Like I say, it's been a busy month and I've got time now to catch up on things I needed to do. Alright, that will be good for that. So it's mostly dry, it's not all completely dry, but enough so that I can just bring in some more colours. And like I say, I'll probably end up doing the other half in the brighter colours, so we'll see how we go. I may introduce some other colours into it. I don't know, we'll see how we go. So is anyone playing tonight, or just having a relax and watching me work? I feel like I'm missing a colour. Oh yeah, the pink. Oh. A little bit there. Okay. All right, what's that looking like? So it's looking nice and bright. You're eating cake. Oh, good on you. Special cake, or just not a birthday cake or anything like that, just because you can. So I quite like the look of it. When I look at it on the screen, it looks quite good. I mean, it's not perfect by any. There's lots of streaky paint blobs on here, but that's okay. I will go over it a little bit more because I'm just trying to sort of blend it in a little bit. It's quite hot. I'll go back to my purple just to put a little bit more, not too much. Now do give this a try. I know it's paint on fingers is not everybody's cup of tea, but honestly I just love how it blends and that kind of thing. But we can all do it with the brush, and we've all done it with the brush, but there's just something about getting some paint on your fingers that I really, really love. And don't worry about going over the other colours, as long as you don't make mud. Going into the pink, into the purple, that's fine. And as long as it's dry, you can do whatever you like. So you can go over the orange as long as it's all dry. Oops, just stuck my finger in that. Okay, get a little bit more of orange. The orange is okay here next to the pink because there's a bit of red in there. So that's not too bad to be able to do, to mix those in a bit. So when you get into, say, the green or something like that, if it's wet, it will make it muddy. Okay, dry that off. Hello Shirley, how are you, lovely? I haven't seen you, heard from you for a long time. I see you're doing lots and lots of lovely work up on the various sites, so you've been very, very busy. Okie dokie, right. So I'm okay with that, because I'm going, like I say, I'm going to put lots of layers over the top. I'm going to put a bit of collage. Pretty colours, yeah, thank you, Shirley. They are pretty colours. I think what I'll just do, now that I've decided to do two separate colourways, I'm going to move those over there and bring, these are the 4 colours that Dina brought out, I don't know, last year sometime. Another lot that I really, really love. I love this yellow, the mustard yellow. It's just so awesome. Again, I'm just going through the same process, rubbing it in. You don't need too very much paint. Yellow, I'll go with the pinky colour. Seeing I've done the, this is the raspberry. I'll put the raspberry down there. Like I say, quite often I do warm colours and cool colourways when I do this, so that I don't have any issues with colours not blending properly and making mud. And you know, quite often I'll have, you know, 3 reds and 3 yellows, you know, like an oranges and that kind of things. But you can mix your colours as long as you dry off in between before you mix in one of those opposite ones. Okay, I think I can put some purple here. See, I have to be careful there because that purple and the yellow is going to make mud if it's not dry. It might be a bit dry now because I haven't done much paint. So I'm going to dry this off because I want to put green on, and it won't like all the other colours. Woo. Alright, Malachite, another one of my favourites. I must admit, I do love this range. Probably said it 15 times. So quite easily I can just go over all of that. Bring that up there a little bit. I might bring some pink into there. Yeah. Okay, so it's not too bad there. Alright, so I'll just dry that off because it's so different from the rest of it. So I'll grab my pink again. Just going to put a tiddly bit there, and I'll fill in a little hole there, and put a little bit there, and I might put some more yellow in there. So I'm just filling in the holes here. It doesn't matter if you leave a bit of white, that's okay. I am just wanting to fill in a little bit here. Dry that off. Alright, and I'm just going to put a bit more yellow in there, if I can find the yellow, just to fill up that hole. There we go. And that will do for there. Dry that off and then we can move on. Hello Wendy, how are you, lovely? Have you recovered from the weekend of crafting? It always takes me a few days to get over that retreat, but so worth it. Alright, okay, so we've got our two, I'll leave that to dry off a bit more. So we've got our two very different backgrounds. So this could be one dress here and this could be another dress there, okay? So we'll see how we go as it goes on. So what I'll do at this point is grab some collage papers. Now I've got all sorts of things here. This is where I'm doing this kind of thing, is where I am very well, thank you Wendy. I use up all my bits and pieces that are lying around, any die cut pieces and stuff like that. So I found a few bits that I have got here. This is tissue paper that I've made up myself and I've stamped all over it or whatever, and that's just some coloured collage paper. So what I'll do is I'll just rip this in half for the moment, and I'm just going to willy-nilly add some of this onto my page. I know you probably think, oh gosh, she's going to cover up all that paint, but well, yeah, that's what we do. So I'm just brushing it on this time. I'm just doing it very, very thinly, and I'll put a little bit more. Put a little bit over here. I'll take it off over the edge. I can cut off whatever's not needed. Some of this will be seen, some of it might not be seen. That's okay. A couple of smaller bits. This is text, so I'm going to put the text going that way. even though you can't really read it. That's all right. And we'll put some here. Overlapping a little bit, that's good. All right, where's my other one? Might as well do that while I'm here. Grab a bit more of this stuff. Now you can use anything to stamp up your own collage papers. I quite often do that, or I'll even stencil onto some paper. And you can use anything. I've got the Dina Wakley paper that I often use. I've used tissue out of packaging. You can use anything. As long as it can stick on, and you can stamp on it. I use stays on, what is it? Archival ink to make sure that it doesn't run. What have we got here over the weekend, which I think yeah, I look, you know, as you can see, I do work fast, so it's can be easy for me to keep up, but yeah, I find if I don't do it straight away, I'm frightened that I won't do it, the classes. So yes, it was a good retreat. Okay. Oops, so any of these bits that are hanging off I can cut off later, that's all right. Now I might grab this one. So I'm going to just adding a little bit more colour, just chop little bits off. So it's just adding just that little bit of interest, texture and interest. You can overlap them, don't worry about doing that. Just make sure there's plenty of stuff underneath it. Depends on the tissue paper you use too. It sometimes blends into the background and you see the background come through. Sometimes it doesn't, so it just depends on what you use. Yeah, but just give it a go. And what I tend to do too is I'll put a layer of clear gesso over this, just so that in case I mess something up or not real sure what my next layer is going to be, I know that this is all protected. I just add a little bit just in the middle there, just a little bit. Alright, so that's that one. Let's jump onto here, put a bit more onto here. So use up all those tiny bits of paper that you've got left over. That's what they're for. Yeah, I know, but it's one of those ones that are a seconds one, that it's not, it hasn't been printed properly, so I think it's okay to use it then. Alright, so just making sure they are flat. Oh, probably need something here. Don't want to go too dark. Awesome. Okay, so what I'll do before I dry that off, this one's almost dry, I'm going to get out my clear gesso. Find it and just put a layer of, oh dear, of clear gesso. This way I've got a coating over it all now, so if something I don't like, I can quickly wipe it off. We're putting too much on, but that's okay. All right, move over to the next one. So has everyone been creating lots? I have to admit it's been very, very busy and haven't been creating what I want to create. It's just trying to find time in the day. It's just terrible. But anyway, I'm halfway through the May class, so I'll hopefully get that out by the weekend. I think it'll be a nice one too. All right, let's dry this off. Back to work after 10 days off. Oh, lucky you. All right. Yeah, the pastel colours are nice. It's probably not something I would normally go to, but, you know, it is always nice to have a different colourway. Of course, I've put too much clear gesso on. And I've just used ordinary cardstock on here too, and I have gessoed on the back purely to keep it flat. And you can see that it is flat, and that's because I've got a very fine coating of gesso on the back, and it helps to keep them flat. Probably don't need to cut these off because I'll be cutting shapes out of it later. Oops. But alright, that'll do for that. Okay. So they're still a little bit damp, but that's okay. I just have to be careful with them. Alright, so we've got our two different colourways to do, and let me think. I am just going to do I shall get, just trying to think what stencil I want. Got some stencils for the top. Let me think of something else. I will go with this one. It's a floral one. I'll do the same one on both of them. It is, I think this is the Vicky Booten one that she designed for Natalie May. I think that's what it is. It is a Natalie May one, but I think it's the one that Vicky Booten designed when she was out here last year. But yeah, I'm just using a floral design, and get my white gesso. I like to use gesso. You can use paint, of course, but I quite often use gesso as paint. Grab a spoon, excuse me for reaching across. You're entertaining grandkids. Oh yeah, your guys are still on holidays. Ours went back last week. We started earlier than you guys. And yeah, now I think I might use a blending tool this time. I just find blending tools can be a little bit more controllable, if that's a word. I don't know if that's the word I'm trying to get. I don't know. Now, I don't know, probably off camera there. I'll just move that over a bit. Okay. I'm going to turn it that way because it doesn't fit right across, so I'm going to do it a few times. And I'm not necessarily going to cover the whole thing, but who knows, I probably will. So I'm going to make sure I hold my fingers very close to where I'm actually tapping, just to make sure it doesn't bleed too much underneath. Not that it really matters if it does, but I just find doing this just helps. Although you can see I'm sort of covering a lot of, I probably should have got a stencil that had bigger lines around it, but anyway, that's okay. I'll be doing lots and lots more colour throughout the time. Now I've got a little bit of a plan in my head, but a lot of it is just winging it. So and by doing this, we're just pushing back those collage layers a little bit too, so that they're not as noticeable. Alrighty, right, let's have a look at that up. So that looks pretty good. So even those pastels are now looking even more pastel-y because of doing that. So what I might do for this one, I will change stencil, so you can sort of see that one there. Put that to the side of it. I'll just try and find something that's got very thick okay, so see what I mean here? See how there's a lot of the stencil there that is filled in? Well, obviously more of the colour underneath is going to show through. You know, you're covering it up a bit there, but you want to try and show off a little bit of what you've got. So sometimes the stencil you choose is quite important, and I'll show you in a minute about what we mean by that. Need some more. Okay, so now you can see more of the underneath. It's not covered up as much, so those brighter colours are showing up a bit more. But again, we're going to be covering up it as well, so if you're not real keen on it, there's always a way around it. And I'm not being terribly worried if I go over a bit of that I've done before. A little bit there, and I'll just put some here. And a little bit up there. All right. So just to show you the difference between the two. Oh, okay, yeah, you're talking about the flower one. I love it. I have used it quite a bit. It's just a really nice all over stencil for the flower one. Yeah, so you can sort of see this one, you don't see the background as much, whereas you see the background more on this one here. So it just depends what kind of look that you're after, which way you go. So we've done that part, which is good. All right. I'm going to dry them off a little bit. Won't take much. I have a drink while I'm the flowers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Vicky Bouton one, and I love it because it's very neat. And if I want an all over coverage, it's usually the one I go to. All right, excuse me while I just have a sip. Oh wow, I just caught a glimpse of that in my camera, on my laptop, and it looks stunning. So I'm really, really happy with that. Okay, so the next part of what I would like to do is I need to do a bit of mark making, do a bit of stamping, that kind of thing. And it's all just random stuff that I'm going to do. So, you know, pick out your favourite stamps and the stamps, that you want to use. Oh gosh, I could sit here forever. See, that one I could use. See, that one's got lines on it. I could use it on that. I don't want to use lines on here because I've already got those little liney bits there. Oh, Linda, don't overthink it too much. I'll probably just end up going to, excuse me, no, I don't want circles. Oh dear. Maybe if we only had one of everything, it would be okay instead of having lots of different ones. That'll make a good mark making one. Okay. Just trying to find, here it is. When I'm in doubt about what to use, I always go to this one. It's kind of my favourite, and it's one of my favourites. But yeah, because I love it because it's got everything on it. And I know you've probably heard me talking about this before. Something else that I've been doing of late is not using black always for my stamping and that kind of thing. I just love the subtlety of it, of using, so what I've been using is watering can, which is a grey. It's probably kind of like a mid-grey. Obviously with the archival ink, the black is obviously very black. So I think we'll have a go and see what this looks like tonight with this. I won't be using a block, and we'll just sort of see how it goes on this one here. I usually always start off in a corner somewhere. Okay, Fiona, see you later, darling. It was good to see you. Thanks for popping in. So you can sort of see it's not that dark, and so I tend to use it a lot. So this seems to be my go-to at the moment, is using the watering can rather than the black. I don't know, it just seems to be a bit more subtle, but maybe give it a go. Excuse me. especially if you're like me and you're a bit heavy-handed with stamping. Maybe that's why I like it, is because I do overdo the stamping, as you can see. But I also find it's not so in your face sort of thing. So can you sort of see what I've got there? You like watering can? Yes. Yes, I totally agree with you. It is subtle, but it just gives you just that enough. Sorry, I'll just make sure it's in the camera properly. And like I say, I love it because it's got a semic writing, it's got numbers, it's got text, it's got scribbles, it's got little mark making bits. You know, if you're only wanting one stamp, that's got it all. Unfortunately, the only problem with it is it's, was it Carabel, which are no longer around. So that's a bit of a bummer. You know, unless you can find it in a store somewhere. It just isn't available anymore. So let's see how we go with this one. So this one I think is a Seth Apter one. It's probably from one of his sets, and it's just lines. Just a little bit of a contrast to the flowers. I never put stamps on straight. I don't know what it is. I can never stamp straight. Sometimes that's why I tend not to do lines so much, is because I can never get it right. Anyway, yeah, put one there as well. So a bit of ghosting along with it. I think what I will do though is just grab some of that, the texture, the text on it. Okay. Alright. Oh, can't help myself. Shocking. That's another reason why I tend to do the grey. Alright, so that one looks pretty cool there too. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, I like it. Good mark making. Anything that he has, I really like. I think what I might do too, is because I can't help myself. This one's quite blocky, so I'll do a little bit. Of course, you don't know, at the moment, we don't know where the dresses are going to be, so a lot of this might not even make it onto the, because I'm going to cut the body, I suppose, the paper doll body, which I need to get onto and do our paper dolls, which is what we were meant to be doing. I'll just leave that there. Okay. Now, I'm just going to leave it there like that for the moment, and let's move on to, let's get on to these paper dolls. Now you can paint them, you can do all sorts of things. Sometimes I do them as embossed images, but I didn't today because I thought I would use, I'm only going to do one of each design. Actually, I'll just chop her off so that where's the scissors? Okay, chop that off. Put that over there. Okay, so I'll just be doing these two. She's got little leaves in her hair. And I tell you what I did get out too that I might use is, where are they? Here. These things here. So it looks a little bit like a maple leaf to me. And there was maple leaves in these things. I bought these recently. Very bright. And I thought, oh, I might be able to use a couple of those. So I just pulled them out just in case. So, what I've decided to do today is, I've got my Life of Colour skin tones pens that I will use, and I've also got my Art by Marlene markers that I could use, And I've also got, I've only just been introduced to the Tombos, so I haven't really I have used them a little bit, but not in this context. But I've got them too, just to sort of see how we go with it all. But I'll start off by doing the face. I like these because, although you probably wouldn't use them if you don't do a lot of faces, but there's all sorts of, you know, colours, and but it's knowing which one you're going to use. So let's just have a look at the, it's quite a tanned, that one's quite light, this one's got a bit of a pinky shade to it. That might be nice for the cheeks actually. I might leave that for the cheeks. So it just depends on what skin tone you want. Obviously the real professionals would use all of these on the one face, whereas, you know, I'm not that clever. Just excuse me a minute, I'm just going to bring my camera down a little bit, so close your eyes while I do that. It's not much, but it's a little bit. Alright, so what I'm going to, these are beautiful, they're a brush. I don't use them a lot, but when I use them, I do like you doing it. So you're just brushing along. Now I do it in deliberate strokes, making sure that I don't do it like a pencil. And of course with this as well, as I will need to go over the line work again. So I try to make it big long strokes, just like you would with a paintbrush. And can you see I'm sort of just doing that to give some depth to her face there. Put that right in, and then down to her neck here. And then I'm going to have the body come out from that. So I mean that's pretty good. I mean I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this. I'm trying to work out what's hair and what's not. So what I'm going to do is, I'm thinking, oh that's very dark. How about we go with this for hair? I'm not going to do too much. I'm just dotting this, what I think is her hair. I just want, so that you can see there's a little bit of hair underneath there, that it's not just flowers. I'm not necessarily, it's just to give that impression that there's hair there. Just have to keep looking in there. So right, so this is where I'll probably leave, I'll leave that to dry for a bit before I put the cheeks on. I may even use a pink for that. So sorry, ooh, let me have a look at here. We're probably making my decision about which is which. So I might make her the bright one, so we'll use brighter colours for her flowers. This is where I get myself in a bit of a mess. Oh, that's not really good. Where is the Tombos? I haven't even opened this one. It's not even really the right colours. What else have we got? Let's do the pink. What's that pink like? It's a bit purpley. Oh, we'll do that because there's a bit of purple in there. So I'm just going to go over that again. Now with these, I haven't played a lot with these. You know, I believe that you can use them with water. Now, can you see I've got two colours here. I've just used the deeper pink on the bottom there. I'm now going to use the lighter pink. Oh, it's got brown on it. I was doing a face on the weekend, and so I'm just touching up some of it with, just to add a bit of depth to each of the flowers. So you could leave a little bit of white too if you wanted to. So there's big flowers and little flowers, so I might do the big flowers in this pinky colour. And then there's some little fillers that I might make blue, some little tiny ones. That's a big one there. Just trying to balance it out a little bit. Oops. Sorry, let me just... My screen's just gone funny, so I just want to check to make sure I'm still here. That's all right. Sorry, my mouse moved, and when you move the mouse, you lose the screen. It's all right. Sorry. Okay. So I'll just putting little bits of the two-tone pink just to make it look a little bit more painterly. They're very simple faces, so you know it's easy for you to... I'll just bring that up to camera just so you can sort of see. Just wait for it to catch up. Oh gosh, it takes a long time. Never knew 20 seconds was so long. So you can sort of see there's a slightly two-tone pink to that. So then what I'll do is I'll grab the blue. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'll do purple. No, got the deeper purple on it. A little bit of purple on them, and then I'll put some blue over the top of that. Oops. My light has just run out. Hope it hasn't darkened up too much. Alright, so now I shall go over a little bit with a bit of... Oh. To remember to clean these off when I use them. I don't use this sort of thing very often, so it's hard for me to remember that kind of thing. So all I'm doing here is just adding a little bit of colour, just to make it a little bit more interesting there. Hope you can sort of see that there. And what I'm going to do now is just put little dots of yellow throughout, just to brighten that up a little bit, because you've got lots of yellow on your dress. And what we might do is, so these are kind of representative, these are art by Marlene pens, so they're representative of her colours that she has in her paint sets. And so, you know, hopefully we'll pick up some of that yellow. We shall go back to the pink to do her lips. Now, this is where okay. And I'm just drawing a little bit of blue on that eye to give her some eye colour. And I won't do it just at the moment, but I will go over her face to, you know, I need to do the line work on her face. But that's all. I'm not going to do too much more than that on that one. So that's the first one. What happened? Here's the other girl. So we'll move over. So here we go. Here we've got the orangey colour. Let's get that orangey colour out. We've got purple on here. Let's go with that, and you've got your pinks as well. Now, what I would love to do for her hair, let's do like this orangey sort of, I don't know why, I just wanted to do that. I should have done this for the other one because it's got the maple leaves on it, so that was a bad choice, but that's okay. Now what I will do with that is, didn't realise it was so, what was I doing? So I'm just adding a little bit of blondie colour sort of to her hair there. Alright. Oh, bit of hair in there as well, so I'll just do that. Okay, so let's just keep seeing parts of her hair that I've missed. And I might get, let's go with the green. So you can see I'm sort of pushing back into that orangey part there. When I'm not doing it realistically, you know, this is all very abstract. I mean, these are abstract girls, whimsical. So I'm making everything whimsically as well. Okay. Putting more detail in it than I should. Okay, back onto the skin. So grab it, following the shape of her nose. I could have made her a bit deeper skin. I'm following the curve of the face. That helps to give depth to it as well. So follow all of the curves that you have on the shape, just to give it that little bit more of realism, even though it's not realistic. And then down here. Okay. Let's put the pink. I'm going to give her violet eyes. I don't know why I love doing violet eyes. I don't know why. Not too many people have violet eyes. No, that's not good. Go back to the blue. lips. You could go red if you wish. Oh, didn't do her. Up there. I mean, you could put eyeshadow on her if you wished. I think I might. What colours have we got in there? I think I might go with just going to bring that down because I'm not quite sure what's happening here. So I'll bring that down a bit. The stamp sets also come with little hearts and that, you know, so I can do some embellishing later with the hearts and that. So I'll just bring that up for you to have a look at. Okay, so where's the other one? So we've got two different, oh, they are different skin tones. Okay, I didn't realise I'd picked up different ones. But yeah, so they're going to look a little bit different. Okay. Sorry, it's a bit dark then now that my light turned off. Let's see. Oh, doesn't like it now. Alright, so that's that. So I'll very, very, very quickly cut those out. So I will deliberately cut it like that just so I can always trim off anything that I don't want. Oh. Like I don't know if I told you, I just did this on cardstock. If I was going to use like a wet medium like Lindy's or something, which I quite often do Lindy's when I'm doing faces, I would use a watercolour paper if I was doing that, but it just absorbs much better. They definitely sit much better on water. And I haven't gessoed this particular piece. Okay, so I'll just leave that there like that one. Okay. Just chop her around there like that for, oh, actually no, I'll go around. I will outline the girls' faces and that, but you know, do the highlight with the black pen. I'll do that after. Follow that line for the moment. I can always chop that back later. Sorry, I can't cut and talk at the same time. Oops. All right. Okay, that lid back on before I lose it. Okay, so that's the one I was going to be putting on there, and so I was going to do hers onto that one there. Alright, let me get rid of these now, sorry. Oops. They're very handy to have. I must admit I don't do enough faces to use them properly, and so it's probably a bit of a waste, but the Out by Marlene ones have got nice colours that you could use for skin tones. Let's put them back in there. Alright, so let me just make sure I keep them together. Now I haven't quite finished doing the background, so what I wanted to do is I am going to just wondering if I'm just going to do a very quick clear gesso. I should have left it to the end here, but because what I'm going to do now is probably going to shock a few people, but it would be easier to do if I have a clear gesso in case it doesn't work out. And I just want to make sure I don't lift anything off from, so very quickly. Alright, that will do for that. Dry this off. Oh, that's good. Good on you, Martine. Yes. Yeah. Some lovely techniques here that you could use to make up Mother's Day cards, and especially if your kids like to do the finger painting. They could do a few splatters or something like that. It, yeah, lots of scope. Alright, so let me just get the heat out of that. Alright, let me just think something first. Let me, in my head, okay, alright, so before I go ahead with this layer, I am just going to grab my white. I'm using inks, artist inks, so I love it. I'm going to do some splatters. I love my artist inks for doing splatters. They're just nice and juicy, and oh, just gives a really nice effect. So, but that's a me thing. That's what I like to do. And I'm going to use my fan brush, if I can pick it up. They're getting ratty though. I need to get some more. So I'm going to splatter. Just hold that up there a bit, just in case I splatter over everything. Because they leave the, I suppose it's okay, but they're starting to annoy me, these brushes now, because they're leaving lines rather than splotches, which is okay if that's what you want, but I find it annoying a bit. So I'll put that one aside. I do like my splatters, and I'm quite splotchy with them. it's funny because we're doing, some of you on here have done it too, the Set Actor workshop. Well, 2 of them in the last couple of weeks, and he doesn't do splatters on his work, and oh gosh, I found it so hard to not do splatters because I'm such a splatter freak. But anyway, I'm putting on splatters just because I love them. I always do them. You could have done it in a brighter colour if you wanted to. Yeah, Wendy, it's handy to have it because, like I say, if you've done your layers and you're just not sure about what the next step's going to be, whether it's going to be a success or not, and you're worried about what it's going to do, it is best to do a layer of white gesso, clear gesso, because then you can just wipe it off if it's not working the way you want it to work. So yes, it's very much worth having. See, it's quite interesting with all the lines on there. Not everyone, I'm getting used to the lines now because that's what happens all the time with these particular brushes because they're getting old. But yeah. Just have to be, I'm going to go over to my hairdryer because it's cooler, because it was starting to bubble in. It's just, it's louder. I usually use the hairdryer when I'm drying things, except when I'm doing lives because it's too noisy. And so it's easier to use the other one. Yes, he wouldn't mind me splattering. I know he wouldn't, but you know, I just thought, oh, you know, I'm got to trying the new techniques and that kind of thing, but it was just really hard to not do it. I don't think I ended up doing it, but anyway. Right, okay, we've got that. Now, this section that I am going to horrify a few people with. So who's who? She's with that. Put her there. Where's my other girl now? I've lost her. Oh, Lord. Oh. There she is. Okay, so she's with her. Alright, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this one on here. And I'm only going to be using one little section. Okay. I might do this section over here because then I've got that pink near her yellow there. So I'm going to be working on this side. Better make sure that there's a big splotch. Big splotch, so I'll just, okay. Alright, so hold on to your hat while I do this because it's going to freak some people out. Okay, a couple of wipes. A couple of wipes handy. Only knit it up to about there. Okay, here we go. Alright, just get that out of the way because I don't want that. So what I'm doing is the reverse stenciling. So I'm going to put that there, put that over there like that. Oh, and then very quickly rub off. Okay, so it is going to dull it down a little bit purely because I'm using the black. It's not something I do a lot, but occasionally I like to do it. It just, let's see what mess we've got underneath. Okay, so let's have a look. The only thing with it, because you put the clear gesso underneath, you don't get as good a coverage. But for me, it's cool. So I mean, it's going to be hard for you to sort of really see. I'll dry it off, and it does push the colours back, so it's not as vibrant as what you saw before. But I will just dry that on. It's worth having a go at it, you know. I mean, it's not something I do all the time, but you know, I think it's worth having a crack at it and just seeing how it. Yeah, the stencil's nice. The stencil came from. Oh, hello, Robin. How are you? Sorry if you said hello before. I missed you, the stencil is from Mel Johns. You know, scrapbooking and craft. She was doing the tutor from the workshop on the weekend. She did the mushroom one and that kind of thing. So she has her own stencils, and this is one of hers. Yeah, she's scrapbooking and craft. You would have got a serviette from her in your kit from the workshop, so you can see her online. All right, so that's that one. So I'm going to do it again on the other one. And like I say, this is not a technique I would use all the time because black is just a little bit blah for me. But you know, sometimes it's just a little bit striking to do. Now I'm going to have her with pink at the top. Just trying to look to see. I'll probably do hers on this side. What I'm going to do with hers this time is this is a Funky Fossil stencil. Okay, so I'm going to put that on to there. And do the same thing with this. Okay, so I'll just grab my the brush is wet, so it's a bit watery too. Let's get a different brush. That might help. Let's grab this brush. Dry brush. Alright, so let's go. I'll start up the top there because we can always cut off the bottom bit. Swipes. Now you do have to keep using fresh, particularly with the black. Have to keep getting a new cleaner side on your baby wipe. You do go through a few with these, but you get lots and lots of if you are careful with it. I'll take that all off there. A nice clean one. Let's see what we ended up with. Okay. Looks a big blob there now, but once we cut out the shape, it should look okay. Oh, just dropped her. Just cleaning up the stencil a little bit here because I don't know about you guys, but I hate working with black. Really hate it. It's just so blah. Everything's just so dirty. I'm not a big fan of black, unless it splatters. Anyway, clean that up later. I like this stencil. I don't know if it's a good choice for this, but anyway, we'll see. It's actually quite a nice effect. It has that very crayon-y, charcoal-y sort of effect on it. Let me just see. Looks like a knitted dress. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Scrapbooking part. Yeah, have a look. Oh, didn't she say she was having a sale? I think it finishes the 30th, so that's tonight. So you better get on and have a look. I'm sure she's got like 15% off or something. So once we cut it all off, it looks a bit of a mess here, but let's get into that. Let me get rid of this black. Okay. Right, now, just look for my template. Now, I'm just going to draw the template out, but I think I will actually be cutting that off a little bit. This is from another one that I'd done previous. Now, let me just have a look. Who's this one? This is her. I just have to see where she fits. Okay. Yeah, alright, so I'll just do it like that, but I will be cutting it down around the sides. I shall get my black marker there. This will do. Okay, so I've just cut this template out. Just one I drew up myself. Okay, yep, got a little bit of a mark there that I can see. So, scissors, I'm going to cut it in. I'm only using it as a little bit of a guide. So I'm actually cutting a little bit off more than what was there. So you can see already it looks much better. I will put a bit of a border around it, that kind of thing. And so, I mean, now I just need to determine what to do with her. So what I'll probably end up doing is gluing her on. No, I won't. I need to make a decision. Just a minute. This could be me messing the whole thing up here. I'm making a decision right now. I should have drew it. Ah, dear. There we go. So I'll glue it on something like that, okay? And then I can fix up the rest of it. So I shall grab my glue. Yeah, Shirley, I've really made that. I am a bit compulsive when it comes to stencils, I have to admit. But of late I've just decided I've really got to start using these stencils. I'm just going back and having a look at what you've got. Now there's not a lot there for her to grab hold of, because silly me, I cut it off too. I'm just going to put that down on the ground. turn her over. Right. And then I can just chop that to suit. And chop that to suit as well. Okay, so that's her done there for a bit. I'm sorry, let you see that first before I go off. Now, the other one. So she's pretty much the same sort of thing. There's not a lot for them to grip hold of, but obviously you're going to glue them onto the page, so that's okay. Now this one is going to be off the page a bit. We'll go. I decided I wanted the pink up there. Okay. Just see what we're doing here. Alright. I mean, you can tell by the shape, it's only just hand drawn. It's not the perfect shape by any stretch of the imagination. And cut that right in. Okay, so I've cut that, I've tailored her off a little bit there, and so I'll be able to, so I can glue that down like that, and then I can cut it to suit. Just want to get a little bit in there. So just be very careful, because they're very, very very delicate at this stage. Goodness me, it's starting to rain again outside. Honestly, in Brisbane here, we have had so much rain. Right, okay. So that looks pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do is, how are we going for time? Oh gosh, it's been an hour and a half. I really need to stop. I am going to use purple pen because it's nice and thick, and I'm going to go around. I hope you can still hear me. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. It is heavy. And I'm in a my studio is a tin shed. So I'm just going to do some of these things, just go along. I don't want to cover up all of it. So just some of the pattern. Fill that in. I probably will end up doing a lot more mark making on here, doing this kind of thing in different colours, but I'm conscious of the time, and I'll just, where's my other girl now? Oh, what did I do with the girls? What did I do? Here she is. Okay. So I'd probably do a similar sort of thing to this one too, maybe use a thinner pen, She's got a lot more lines on her, this one. Actually, no, not that pen. So you can sort of see I'm trying to blend in with that. So girls, I might kind of leave it here if that's okay with you. I'm going to continue on doing mark making and that kind of thing. But you know, if you want to sign off and say goodbye, I'm okay with that too. Cold, yeah, okay. I think this is at the last of our rain, and then the cold weather will set in for us. But I will say goodnight to you now, and but I'm going to keep pottering along. I'm going to keep the tape running, so you can stay if you wish, but I'm okay if you sign off too. So I shall see you later, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for stopping by, girls. Bye-bye. Thanks, Wendy. I'll put lots of pictures up for you, darling. Yep, bye-bye. Oh, there's a close the window. Hello, Leslie. Good night, Shirley. Hi, Leslie. I've kind of finished the, I'm just working away here to finish this off. I think a lot of people have signed off, but you're more than welcome to watch if you wish. But I'm just plugging away to finish this off. yes, Leslie, they are amazing. I just got mine the other day, or yesterday I think, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a go.
Excuse me.
good night, ladies. I will finish this off in the morning, putting it onto the background, etc. And I will see you again soon. Thanks, girls. Bye-bye.